And it looked like Caitlin Clark is in some serious hot water with WNBA players over this alleged not voting for this strike. Guys, for this one here, now we know Caitlin Clark is a big advocate for the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham just came on record that she's not doing the Project B. She has not done Unrivaled. She is a strong supporter of the WNBA as a whole, so we all know that.
They held an emergency Team USA meeting over Caitlin Clark. And the wild part is, it was not on the schedule. No big announcement, no cameras rolling up to catch a quote. Just a closed-door moment inside camp that made everyone in that gym feel the pressure shift in real time. Because when you put Caitlin in the driver's seat, the whole system bends. And when the system bends, someone always feels like they're being pushed out.
So we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, she looked like Caitlin, right? Like the step back three was there, the passes were there.
So what happened on day 3 that made staff step away from the court? And why did Paige Bueckers quietly refuse to accept a nice bench role? By the end of this, you'll understand why this was never about minutes. It was about identity. Day 3 was supposed to be routine. A light run, film review, a controlled segment where everything feels normal and safe. But that plan died the second the rotation sheet changed. It starts quietly. Caitlin Clark gets penciled in as the projected starter for the next controlled run. No press release, no hype. Just a clipboard move that tells every elite player in the room, this is the direction we're testing. And the second Caitlin steps onto the floor with the first unit, the gym changes temperature. The ball moves faster. The spacing widens. Decisions look sharper. Not because she's yelling, not because she's demanding the spotlight, but because she plays like the game is on a timer and everyone else is a second late. She calls the set, reads the defense before it forms, hits the open shooter before the help can arrive. And when the defense finally overreacts, she takes the shot that makes you feel helpless. That's the moment that makes people stop talking. The step back, the deep one, the logo range swish. No celebration, no stare down, just business. And you'd think a gym full of stars would clap for that. But the bench doesn't erupt, it tightens, because that one shot confirms something a lot of people weren't ready to accept. This offense can run through Caitlin Clark. And once that idea enters the room, you cannot put it back in the box. That's where the whisper phase starts. Not trash talk, attention. Quiet conversations between drills that sound like normal basketball talk, but aren't. Who closes games? Who adjusts? Who sacrifices? Because Team USA isn't just a roster. It's a hierarchy, it's politics, it's tradition. And Caitlin's style doesn't politely fit into tradition. It forces a choice. Then you see Paige. She's not loud about it. She's not putting on a show. She's standing near the sideline, arms folded, locked in, focused, still. The kind of body language that says, I see what's happening. And in a gym like this, nothing is small. Paige checks in during the next segment. But here's the detail that matters. She doesn't check in with the starters. It's subtle, but the message is loud. If Caitlin's taking the steering wheel with the first unit, where does that leave everyone else who expects to lead? Paige plays hard, efficient, professional. But something's off. The flow isn't the same. And that's not an insult. That's the point. Some players elevate a system by blending in. Caitlin elevates a system by warping it. And when the system warps, you either adapt or you feel exposed. After the drill, Paige heads straight to the bench. No extra shots, no extra reps, just stillness. That stillness is louder than a tantrum. Because it's not emotion, it's a decision being processed. And right after that, the coaching staff steps away. Not in front of everyone, not with a dramatic announcement, just away. And that's when it happens. An emergency meeting is called. not with the players first, staff first. Assistants, coordinators, USA officials. And the topic isn't performance, it's fallout. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just playing well, she's reshaping the hierarchy. Inside that room, the concern isn't, is she good enough? The concern is, how do we manage elite talent when one player naturally bends the system around her? Because Caitlin doesn't demand touches, she creates outcomes. And outcomes rearrange power without asking for permission. This is the part that people get wrong online. They think it's ego, they think it's jealousy, but the real fight is identity. When you've been a star your whole life, your role is not just minutes. Your role is status, it's purpose. It's how you see yourself. So when the room starts treating Caitlin like the engine, even if no one says it out loud, the air changes. And that's why Paige's refusal matters, not because she's storming out. The word quit never gets said out loud. But the possibility of stepping away from a role that doesn't fit hangs in the air. Because nobody with Paige's talent wants to be a symbol. They want to be a weapon. Now here's what makes Caitlin different in this moment. She doesn't react, she keeps shooting. Same rhythm, same calm face. She doesn't look around to see who's watching. Because to her, it's not personal, it's basketball. And publicly, that's exactly how she talks about it. She said she's experienced both sides of USA basketball, making teams and being cut from teams, and that wearing USA across your chest is the biggest honor you can have. That kind of mindset is dangerous in a room full of emotion, because it's not fueled by revenge. It's fueled by work. Then the coaches return. Practice resumes. But the mood has shifted. Every possession feels like a test. Every pass feels evaluated. And Caitlin leads another run. The offense flows. Cuts are sharper. Shots come easier. It's undeniable. Paige watches, not resentful, aware. Because this is the crossroads every elite team faces. Who adapts and how? And here comes the climax. Players feel the delay. They know something happened. Paige finally stands and speaks with a coach. Low voice, calm tone. No cameras close enough to hear it. But the body language says enough. This isn't anger, it's clarity. She doesn't want a reduced role. She doesn't want symbolism. She wants purpose. And that creates friction without a single shout. Not yelling, not threats. Just a line being drawn internally. After practice ends, something else happens that never happens. Players get dismissed early. Phones light up instantly. Messages fly. Speculation spreads. And inside the facility, the meeting continues longer. And by the end of the night, nothing is announced. No statements, no confirmations. But the emergency meeting happened. The rotations changed. And the tension is real. Because Team USA didn't just gain a starter. They triggered a reckoning. So the question now isn't whether Caitlin Clark belongs. It's how everyone else chooses to respond. Because when one player elevates the room this fast, someone always feels the ground move. If you're still watching, comment emergency meeting.
What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. So we have this reporter that goes by the name of Sabrina that dropped the behind the scenes information about Caitlin Clark at this USA basketball training camp. And the way that she's talking, Caitlin Clark made this team, fam. She made this team the way that she's talking.
Final day at Team USA camp. Caitlin Clark cranked the pace up so fast the gym could not breathe. The passes were knives, the step-back threes were back, and every drill started orbiting her. And somehow, Angel Reese ended up on the outside looking in.
Hate to break it to you, Angel. Nobody was watching the videos anymore. And I was like, nah, that's not what I do, is make videos on people that, on players that people don't want to consume. But here we are. We're gonna do this because I think it's important. I think there was an opportunity, huge opportunity, missed right here by one Angel Reese. Simple. Could have squashed a lot of things, a lot of narratives.
So what did Sabrina see inside that gym? And why did one quiet exit stop everyone cold? Here is the final day. This story starts with one behind-the-scenes report. a reporter named Sabrina said she was inside the USA basketball training camp, and the way she described it, Caitlin did not just participate. She controlled the rhythm of everything, not with speeches, with the ball. Sabrina said the training was a mix of Team USA players going against each other, and also Team USA players going against a scout team. And that scout team was made up of players from smaller colleges in North Carolina who were brought in to help simulate competition. And in the middle of all that, Caitlin looked like Caitlin. Sabrina pointed out the step-back three was there, the passes were there, the pace was there. Even in drills, she was pulling defenders into impossible choices. Sabrina even noted that Caitlin was making these reads when she was not even paired with Aaliyah Boston.
So we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered a lot of just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, you know, she looked like Caitlin, right? Like the step back three was there, the passes were there.
That is important because it shows the skill is not just chemistry with one teammate, it is a habit. She sees the cut early, she throws the pass early, and she forces the receiver to be ready early. And that is why those passes can feel cruel in a camp setting. A normal pass lets you catch, gather, and decide. Caitlin's pass is a decision already made. Catch it and finish, or the defense closes and the moment is gone. Therefore, when someone brings the ball down, it is not a mistake in effort. It is proof the speed is different. Here's the first moment where the camp started to feel tense. Sabrina described how some players did not know what to do with Caitlin's passes. Not because they are not talented, but because the ball arrives earlier than your brain expects. There was one play where Caitlin zipped a pass into Derica Hamby, and Hamby brought the ball down instead of going straight up. In a normal offense, that is fine. But in Caitlin's offense, that split second can get you erased.
When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with her passes. Like there was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. Like this is not, you have to keep it up, right?
Straight up, right.
Just like not expecting, you know, where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA, which is, you know, something to be said considering all the conversations we had about that level of physicality during this 2025 season. So having to see Caitlin like go at scouting players who were, you know, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury-wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there.
Therefore, it was not just a highlight, it was a warning. Caitlin was operating at a speed that even pros had to adjust to. Now add the next layer. Sabrina also mentioned the scout team was instructed to play with more physicality. Real bumps, real grabs. The kind of contact that forces you to make decisions faster. But Caitlin stayed engaged. She kept pushing tempo. She kept attacking space. She kept throwing passes that forced everyone else to cut, catch, and finish on time. And once the speed limit changes, the room starts picking sides. Sabrina said Paige Buickers noticed it first. When Caitlin ran the offense, the pace shifted. The spacing tightened. The ball moved faster. Coaches leaned forward. Assistants started tracking who could keep up. But that same speed can also erase people. Sabrina said Angel Reese felt something different. Not anger at first, something worse, irrelevance. Angel was on the floor running the same drills and getting the same minutes, but the rhythm did not come back to her. The ball did not come back to her. The momentum flowed past her. And let's be fair to Angel. Her game is built on physicality, rebounding, effort, and pressure. She wins possessions the hard way, but a tempo-driven offense does not always reward the loudest contact. It rewards timing. It rewards reads. If you are half a second behind, it can feel like you are invisible, even when you are working. That is where Sabrina said the scrimmage changed everything. No cameras, no fans, just pride. And when it becomes pride, every missed rotation feels heavier. In that setting, Caitlyn's impact grows because she does not just score. She makes everybody else's job easier. She turns cuts into layups and spacing into clean threes. Therefore, the room starts to feel a new hierarchy forming in real time. Sabrina's description made it sound like Angel was not benched or punished. She was simply erased by tempo. Possession by possession, the flow moved away from her. Not because she cannot play, but because the game was being played at a speed that rewards different strengths. But the final day is where it went from uncomfortable to shocking. Sabrina said the last day of camp was quiet. Too quiet. The drills were sharp. The execution was ruthless. And in that atmosphere, Caitlyn looked like a veteran, calling actions, directing traffic, finishing plays. She did not need extra shots to feel important. She just needed the ball for 2 seconds to move the defense. Meanwhile, Sabrina said Angel barely touched the ball. Again, not by punishment, by reality. Therefore, when the final whistle blew, it felt like the decision was already made, even if nothing official was announced. And then came the part that made people freeze. According to this behind-the-scenes telling, Angel did not wait around for announcements. She did not wait for meetings. She stepped away, not storming, not shouting, just done. That is why it hit so hard, because in a gym full of top competitors, emotions usually show up as noise. This was the opposite, a quiet exit that felt louder than any argument. But the bigger point is not the exit. If Sabrina's report is even close to accurate, this camp showcased the future. Basketball built on pace, vision, and pressure that you cannot slow down without breaking your own offense. Therefore, this is the kind of moment the whole sports world reacts to. ESPN segments, debate shows, even Stephen A. Smith jumping on the idea that one player can change the temperature of a gym without saying a word. But Caitlyn does not have to talk. She did not demand respect. She played in a way that forces people to adjust to her, not the other way around. And if that is what she looks like in a controlled camp, imagine what happens when the real games start. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and stay locked in. So now the only question left is this. If camp already felt like it chose Caitlyn, what happens when Team USA has to make it official and live with the reaction? If you're still watching, drop final day in the comments.
What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. So we have this reporter that goes by the name of Sabrina that dropped the behind-the-scenes information about Caitlyn Clark at this USA basketball training camp. And the way that she's talking, Caitlyn Clark made this team, fam. She made this.
Literally. This is crazy. I'm under contract. I guess I plan on returning to the sky and continuing to talk to Tyler.
I quit. That's the phrase quietly spreading behind the scenes after Team USA camp wrapped up. Because once Caitlyn Clark was named the starter, Angel Reese made a decision that shocked everyone inside the gym.
Are you here intentionally to start mess, or are you intentionally here to ask a question? And it's really tough for me.
Start mess? How are you gonna? You know you're the one that's saying these things on these microphones, right? You the one that said it's not because of her, it's because of me too. It's not because of one person, it's because of me too. You did that. You did that. You the one that keep trying to attach yourself. Like, let's be clear here. Angel Reese is the one that keeps trying to attach herself to Caitlyn Clark at every turn. You are the one who went to Indiana, shot your shoe commercial and said, come to your trap, take over your trap, taking shots at Caitlyn Clark. You try to attach yourself to this girl at every single turn, and you get mad that people see it.
This wasn't about one bad practice. This wasn't about trash talk. And this wasn't social media drama. This was about a role, and Angel Reese refusing to accept it. Team USA camp started the way it always does. Competitive, but controlled. Everyone fighting for minutes. Everyone told to put egos aside. But the entire direction of camp shifted the moment Caitlyn Clark took control of the floor. From the first full-speed scrimmages, it was clear what the coaches were seeing. Clark wasn't just scoring. She was running everything. The pace changed when she had the ball. Spacing tightened. Decisions came earlier. The offense didn't need her to force anything. It naturally flowed through her. And coaches noticed immediately. Assistants leaned in. Whispers started. Rotations adjusted.
She was complaining to the referees. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she's there complaining to refs, she's back. She's back. But let's take a listen.
Caitlin Clark back on the court, Sue Bird impressed with Caitlin just being engaged while she was out and getting back to being able to play.
It was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, you know, she looked like Caitlin. The step back three was there, the passes were there. When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with their passes. There was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. This is not, you have to keep it up, right?
Straight up.
Just like not expecting where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA. So having to see Caitlin like go at scouting players who were, you know, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury-wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there.
By the middle of camp, it was no longer a question of if Caitlin Clark would start. It was when. That's where the tension began. Angel Reese came into camp expecting a major role. Not just minutes, not just impact, status. But as scrimmages stacked up, the contrast became uncomfortable. Clark was directing traffic, calling actions, setting tempo. Angel was active, physical, competing. But the offense didn't revolve around her. The ball moved past her. The game sped up around her. And then the decision came down. Caitlin Clark was named the starting point guard. The lineup was clear. The hierarchy was set. And Angel Reese was told she'd be coming off the bench. That moment changed everything. Sources say Reese didn't react immediately. No outburst, no scene. But the frustration was obvious. Her body language shifted. Her engagement dipped. The energy wasn't the same. Because for Angel Reese, this wasn't just a basketball adjustment. It was an identity check. Coming off the bench on Team USA isn't a punishment. It's still elite. But to someone who sees themselves as a centerpiece, it can feel like a demotion. And Reese didn't hide how she felt. Behind the scenes, dissatisfaction grew. Questions about her role turned into complaints. Complaints turned into distance. Meanwhile, Clark kept doing exactly what earned her the spot. She didn't celebrate. She didn't flex. She ran the offense. She elevated teammates. She controlled the floor. The contrast couldn't have been sharper.
Right. Stirring it up. I love that. I love that you could see the storylines continue from the W season into, this camp. And I want to particularly hit on two things that you wrote about. Just Caitlin Clark being back on the court. You also got a quote out of Sue Bird about her being impressed with Caitlin just being engaged. Wow.
Okay, so we've already gone and listened to that anyway. So it is one of those things where it's like, I think that's probably the most important thing that they said at the end is that Caitlin Clark just looked happy playing. And if you know the type of players that Caitlin Clark are, that type of players Caitlin Clark is, if we're being honest, she is a player that she plays off instinct. If the love of basketball is gone from Caitlin Clark, like, she's not going to be the same player. She's just not. She plays free. She takes risks. She's not as calculated as a lot of other players. She's not going to dissect you.
One player leaned into responsibility. The other resisted it. By the final day of camp, the atmosphere was tense. Practices were sharp, quiet, unforgiving. Clark dictated the pace again. Angel barely touched the ball. And then, before camp officially wrapped, Angel Reese stepped away, early. No press conference, no announcement, just gone. Inside the gym, everyone understood what it meant. This wasn't an injury. This wasn't rest. This was a refusal. A refusal to accept the role she'd been given. And that's why this moment matters. Because Team USA isn't built on star treatment. It's built on fit, on sacrifice, on accepting what the team needs, not what your reputation demands. Caitlin Clark earned her spot by making everyone else better. Angel Reese was asked to adjust, and instead, she walked away.
Oh, I don't know. Angel Reese, she might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit. Everybody is speculating. What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait. What's going on? What's going on, man? We gonna get to the bottom. We gonna figure it out.
Now fans are split. Some say Reese was disrespected. Others say she showed exactly why she wasn't named a starter. But one thing is clear. This wasn't about Caitlin Clark tearing anyone down. She didn't have to. Her game made the decision unavoidable. And when that decision came, it exposed who was willing to adapt and who wasn't. So here's the real question. Did Angel Reese quit on Team USA? Or did Team USA simply choose a direction that didn't include her ego? If you're still watching, drop "I quit" in the comments. Because this debate is only getting louder.